So Gemini, let's get into it and see what does the next 30 days have in store for you? What is the kind of things that you need to be mindful of, aware of over the next 30 days? Just a note though that this particular reading is timeless, which means it is valid and applicable at any time that you find it, at any time that you watch it. But we are setting the intention that from the day you watch this video, we're looking at the next the next 30 days of your life. Right, so I have been shuffling cards. I have them ready for you. We're starting with Oracle, and the reason why I'm starting with Oracle is because it sets such a nice foundation. It gives such a nice foundation as to where this reading is going to go and what it is that you need to know. So, Gemini, the card that I have for you first is the card of authenticity, and it is Spirit telling you to let your truth be heard. I love the fact that she's holding this basket above her head. Okay, so immediately what I'm hearing from this for you, Gemini, is that over the next 30 days, it's going to be vitally important that you speak, that you voice yourself, that you express yourself, that you allow your truth to be heard. So no more suppressing, holding back and thinking, oh, I don't want to upset a person, I don't want to worry a person, I don't want to be that person. Be that person. Be that person, Gemini, because it's important at the moment that you do express and just really let your truth be heard. Now, I know Geminis, you guys don't mind talking. You guys are actually very good at communication and expression, but oftentimes the communication and the expression is more around what the other person expects of you, more around what it is that the other person needs, wants, or desires from you, as opposed to what your truth is. The fact that we've got authenticity is telling you to pay extra special attention to your truth and not what makes people around you happy. And that is where the challenge is going to come in, because Gemini, I know it's easy. It's easy to say, okay, I'm going to behave in this way because it makes everybody around me happy. And if everybody around me is happy, then I am happy. But for the next 30 days, in this particular reading, this is where we need to shift things around. We're not saying don't pay attention to other people. We're not saying don't be mindful of other people's feelings and emotions and things like that. But what we are saying is it's time for you to be true to you, to be open and honest with your needs, wants, and desires, and to make sure that you are expressing it. All right, so I know that's quite a big kind of topic, a big kind of concept, right? Because like, what does it actually relate to? What part of your life does it relate to? What aspect of your life does it relate to? And or is it just with everything? So I'm shuffling a tarot deck, which is going to give us clarity. It's going to give us confirmation. It's going to give us a little bit of insight as to what it means for you to be truly authentic, and for you to express yourself in the way that you need to. Right, so cards are shuffled. Just cutting the deck. So the first card that we have is the Knight of Swords. There we go, it's in focus. Now, as you can see, here we have our little knight, and he's riding on his horse, and you can see there is movement, there is progress, there is advancement, there is action that is taking place in this card. And that's exactly, so when we look at the Knight of Swords, swords is the suit of the intellect, of the mind, of the thinking, which again ties into everything that we're saying here. Instead of thinking about what suits everybody else, Spirit is saying, think about yourself. Be authentic to you for a change. And the Knight of Swords is the, if you imagine the Knight of Swords as somebody who jumps in, dives in, gets involved, does the stuff, and then worries about the consequences later. That's the Knight of Swords. It's very much about focused, driven, ambitious attention to detail without really worrying about all the other stuff around. And this is what Spirit is saying. Don't get too caught up in your head around what it is that you need to express, what it is that you need to say, because the people around you, they need to hear your truth, okay? They need to hear your truth. And now all you have to do is really just express it, really just put it out there. The next card that I have for you, and this is where things start getting quite interesting. This is the Eight of Cups. Now, if we look at this particular Eight of Cups, there we go, just trying to get the camera to focus on it. Can you see our little character is flying away on a whole bunch of balloons, right? He's holding on to a whole bunch of balloons and he's sort of floating along. And that is exactly what the Eight of Cups is. The Eight of Cups is saying that it's time to walk away from something. It's time to grab a bunch of balloons and just let it float you away, float you into a different place, into a different experience, into a different existence. Because you know what? And I'm going to bring this card back into picture as well here. So Gemini, this is Spirit saying to you, over the next 30 days, over the next couple of weeks, it's important that you speak your truth. Don't hide your truth. Don't hide behind a situation, a circumstance, or anything. It's time for you to be truly, truly authentic, okay? Things are moving quite quickly in your life at the moment. You might find that there's this kind of fear and this panic of missing out. You know, FOMO is real. FOMO is real. So there's this feeling of missing out. There's this feeling of not being in the right place at the right time, not saying the right thing at the right time to the right people. But Spirit is saying to you, it's time for you to recognize that you don't have to hold on to everything. It's okay to recognize that a particular situation, circumstance, individual person, whatever it is, isn't feeding your soul, isn't right for you. And once you've identified that, it's okay to walk away, because that's what that Eight of Cups is saying to you. It's telling you it's time to turn your back and to leave, to depart, to move on and leave that situation behind, because you can't change it. You've tried. You've done everything in your power. Okay, Knight of Swords. You've done everything in your power. You have tried literally everything to make it better, to make it happier, to make it more conducive, whatever it is to you. And it's just not working. It's just not working. And sometimes we have to be truly authentic. Okay? Sometimes we have to be truly authentic to ourselves, to recognize, to realize that it's just not going to be okay. It's not ever going to be fixed. It's not ever going to be better. Therefore, learn where you put your energy, learn what matters most, and step away from the rest of it. That is what's truly, truly important. And you know, Gemini, I know it's difficult. I know it's difficult when you care, when you've got a big heart, when the people in your life, whether they be family members, friends, colleagues, you know, customers, suppliers, whatever it might be. I know it's hard to just sort of, you know, push people aside and say, I'm not interested in that anymore. But sometimes we have to do that. Sometimes you have to have the courage to stand up and say, actually, I don't like that. That doesn't work for me. That doesn't suit me. And it's not about being defiant, and it's not about being aggressive, and it's not about being anything negative like that. But what it is, it's being honest and true to who you are. Okay, so let's take another oracle card just to see where else this is going. What else does Spirit need you to know about being authentic, about stepping up and saying, I'm acknowledging what works for me, and I'm acknowledging what doesn't work for me. Right, cards are shuffled, and I'm grabbing one in the middle. Oh, one thought fell out, so we're going to go for that one. So I love this for you, Gemini. We have the Free Spirit. How beautiful is the artwork on this card? Free Spirit. And what is it saying to you at the bottom here? Be your own person. You know, as I say quite often in my readings, I can't make this stuff up. Camera's not focusing on me. Okay, there we go. As I say often in my readings, I can't make this stuff up. So here we have to be authentic. We have to speak. We have to express ourselves. We have to be open and honest about who we are, what it is that works for us. And then we have to acknowledge that you are a free spirit. And that's okay. Gemini, I'm here to tell you today that it's okay to be a little bit of a free spirit, to go against the grain a little bit, and to walk away from anything or anyone that actually causes you pain and discomfort, or that just doesn't serve a purpose. I mean, let's be honest, serving purposes is important. And if something isn't serving a purpose for you, no matter how hard you try, no matter how much effort you put into it, if it doesn't serve a purpose for you, it's never going to work. It's never going to be what it is that you want or need it to be. So this is Spirit saying to you that being a free spirit is the most important thing for you. And I am going to say to you, free spirit does not mean rebellious. Free spirit does not mean going against the grain and causing chaos. Free spirit just means authenticity. Being authentic to you. Okay, taking another tarot card, or you see. So here we have the Five of Cups. Now, the Five of Cups is the card of disappointment. Five of Cups is the card of pain and suffering. Five of Cups is the card of going, you know, just one more challenge, one more challenge, one more challenge. And this is why you are struggling with being a free spirit, being authentic, stepping away and doing the things that you need to do, because you don't want people to be upset with you. You don't want people to be disappointed with you. You don't want to cause any kind of hope or any kind of disappointment in any person. But you know what, Gemini? You can't please all the people all the time. I'm going to say that again. You can't please all the people all the time, no matter how hard you try. And we can see by our Knight that you've tried really hard, that you've chucked yourself into this situation. You've thrown yourself into this, and you've said, I'm going to figure it out. I'm going to do this. I'm going to work it out. But you're not going to. Okay? So the Knight of Swords is basically saying to you to recognize when you've done everything that you've done, to step away from a situation that doesn't serve a function, a purpose, or anything with you, and to recognize that, yeah, some people are going to be disappointed. You know what, Gemini? It may even be you. You may even be disappointed. You may even be disappointed in yourself because you have, and I have to use air quotes, failed. But you haven't failed, because all you've done is stepped into your truth, stepped into your power, stood in your authentic true self. What does it say across the bottom there? Let your truth be heard. And you are allowing yourself to be the free spirit that you are. And these are the things that are just so vitally important. So I get with the disappointment card, right? With that Five of Cups, I get, Gemini, that we don't want to hurt people. We don't want to disappoint people. But I'm going to give you a little, I'm going to call it life lesson on disappointment. What I'm hearing from Spirit, right, is sometimes when we let people down, sometimes when we disappoint people, sometimes when we have to be this person for other people, what we're actually doing is we're giving them the opportunity to learn a lesson. We're giving them an opportunity to grow as an individual. We're giving them an opportunity to experience disappointment to help them on their evolution of life. So sometimes when you have to disappoint a person, sometimes when you have to be that figure of disappointment, it's not actually about you doing wrong or doing badly or letting people down, but it's about you holding space for them to experience what they need to experience. Whereas if you are constantly making things better for them, if you're constantly fixing things, if you're constantly, making everything perfect, how is anybody ever going to learn? How are they ever going to become stronger individuals in their own space? They're not going to. So sometimes you have to let people down in order for them to learn how to stand on their own 2 feet. And again, Gemini, bringing these two back into it, that is exactly the message from Spirit, that you need to understand and follow your true authenticity. You need to let your truth be heard, but you also need to be your own person. I was just reading the writing at the bottom there. Be your own person, be a free spirit, and not try to conform to society and to other people all the time, because where has that gotten you so far? Like, let's ask that really tough question. Where has that gotten you so far? And I bet you the answer is it hasn't gotten you very far. So how many people put you first? How many people think about your needs, wants, and desires? How many people are always going, oh, maybe I should check in with you before they do anything? And I'm sure the answer is not very many. You may have one or two people, sure. Okay, you may have one or two people who do that, but I can almost guarantee you, Gemini, that you are walking this road on your own. You may be carrying a lot of people. Look at what's on her head. Look at what's on her head. Okay, so you may be carrying a lot of people. You may be doing all the work, but who's there to support you? Who's there to help you? And over the next 30 days, we're not pushing back on anything. We're just asking the question of where is my truth? When I say my truth, I mean Gemini truth. Where is your truth? What makes you happy? What makes you feel as if this world is going to be okay? So I've drawn another tarot card just straight off the top of the pile here, and it's the Six of Swords. Now I want you to notice, right? So she's sitting on, I don't know, let's call it a swan. Here are the swords. She's left them behind, and she's traveling on the swan, and she's moving on. The Six of Swords is very much the same as the Eight of Cups that we had. It is the card of moving on. It is the card of going to a different place, to start over, to have a new beginning, to do things in a slightly different way, in a better way for yourself. So here you've got it twice from Spirit saying to you that, Gemini, when you stand in your truth, when you give yourself permission to be a free spirit, when you stand in your own truth authentically, you will realize that you have to leave something behind, that you have to step away and move towards something that's going to make you happy. And that's exactly what the Six of Swords is. The Six of Swords is the card of just, I need to go, I need to make a change, I need to break free, and I'm doing it now. I don't know quite where I'm going to go, I don't know quite where I'm going to end up, but I know it's going to be better than where I am now. And that is exactly the message that Spirit are having for you. Okay, so I'm going to leave all of these cards here in front of me because I'm going to be referring to them quite a bit. But what I want to do is I've got another tarot deck. So a completely different tarot deck. I'm going to give it a shuffle. And the question I'm asking now, Gemini, is what happens if we don't? Because you know what, like I understand that what Spirit are asking of you right now is really, really difficult, okay? I get that what Spirit are asking you now is not easy. So I'm shuffling this other tarot deck. And I'm asking the question of what happens if we don't? What happens if we don't step into our truth? What happens if we don't become truly authentic ourselves? What happens if we don't disappoint others? What happens if we don't move away from whatever is causing us pain and discomfort? Okay, right, so the tarot is shuffled. I have cut the deck, and let's draw our first card. So remember, the question I was asking is what happens if we don't? And the card we have here is clarity, and we have this huge, beautiful, gorgeous diamond. Okay, so how does clarity answer the question of what happens if we don't? Well, a diamond is a black piece of coal that has been under so much pressure that it has eventually become a gorgeous, glorious diamond. But it hasn't, it's not something that happened instantly. It was a lot of time of immense, immense, immense pressure. And that is where the clarity comes from. So this is Spirit confirming that if you don't make a change in your life now, if you don't identify what is stopping you from being truly authentic you, and if you don't step away from that, the pressure is going to continue. The pressure is actually going to get worse. It's going to get harder. It's going to get stronger. What is pressure? Pressure becomes more pressurized. I don't know. But the pressure will continue. And eventually, after hundreds of millions of years, however long it takes, I don't know how long it takes, but however long it takes, you may eventually become a crystal clear clarity diamond. But it's the pressure that you've got to go through first to get there. And that is what we're trying to prevent, because it's not necessary. You can still be a diamond. You can still be crystal clear. You can still be all of those things as a free spirit without the pressure. So this is Spirit saying to you that ultimately what happens if you don't, the pressure will continue, the pressure will maintain until eventually you see clearly and you make the changes that you need to. The next one we have, what happens if we don't? Remember, that's the question we're asking here. What happens, Gemini, if we don't make the change? Like, honestly, do I even need to say anything? We've got anxiety that's coming through here. Just, so we've got a person who is alone in their little hut, in their little house, and we've got the wolves that are, howling at the door. So what does it mean if the wolves are howling at the door? It means that they're pretty close to biting you, to eating you, to putting an end to your existence. And we don't want that. So Gemini, this is Spirit saying to you, obviously, understand that you always have choice, okay? In this lifetime, in this human existence, you always have choice. And the choice that you have right now is, yes, if you don't want to be truly authentic, if it's not possible for you to be truly authentic right now, if you don't want to disappoint people, where's disappointment? There's it. If you don't want to disappoint people, if you don't want to let people down, if you don't want to walk away, all right, there's the Six of Swords and there's our Eight of Cups. If you don't want to walk away from a situation, if you feel as if you can't, for whatever reason, just understand that the pressure is going to continue. It's going to get more and more and more, so that you are so pushed and so condensed that you become a crystal clear clarity, beautiful diamond. But it's the anxiety that's going to keep you stuck, keep you trapped, keep you caged, keep you restricted and limited. And that's not how you want to be living your life. That is not what the universe has intended for you. So Gemini, this is why this is such an important message for you right now. And this is why this message is coming through so strongly, because it's important that you step forward and allow yourself to be truly authentic. Let your truth be heard, Gemini. And you know what? Yes, we're going to disappoint some people. Yes, we're going to upset some people. But is that on you or is that on them? And I'm going to say that that's on them, because they're disappointed because you're not doing what they want. And how was that your problem? So if we turn the situation around And you realize that by being authentic, you are doing what's right for you. You are living your truth your way. If other people have a problem with it, it's because of their life, it's because of their situation, because of their circumstance. That's not on you, Gemini. That's not on you. All right, let's finish this off with one more oracle card. And I think this one is a perfect one to finish off because it is the card of strength, card 33. Those of you who follow numerology, you will know that that's a master number. And it tells you to know your strength. And that's exactly the message, is when you know your strength, when you recognize your authenticity, and when you give yourself permission to be free, that is when you will truly shine. And that is when everything falls into place. The little keywords is to know your strength, to know what it is that you can change, what it is you can't change, and what it is you should change, and to make the changes that are necessary because you deserve to be happy. And I honestly believe, Gemini, if you're watching this right now, and if you are taking everything that I'm saying to you and attaching it to a situation in your life right now, you're not happy. You're not living your truth. You're not okay. And that's not okay. So this is Spirit saying to you that you deserve to be happy. You deserve to live a life that is anxiety free. And I mean, okay, let's be honest, life is never going to be anxiety free. We're always going to have stresses and worries and things that are going to come up for us. But it doesn't have to be to such a level that it makes us into a diamond. You know, because, and also, have you ever heard people say to you that diamonds are the strongest stone that there is? Why are they so strong? Because they've been under so much pressure. And that, we don't have to live that way. Our purpose is not to become a diamond. Our purpose is to live a happy, content, full life of love, of happiness, of truth, and most importantly, authentically. That is what it's all about, is living a life authentically. And you're not at the moment because you're trying to be a diamond. The universe is forcing you, circumstances are making you into a diamond when you don't want to be a diamond. So don't be a diamond. Just be truly authentic you. And who are you? You're a free spirit. So Gemini, be true to you. That is the message. Be true to you. Over the next couple of days, 30 days, make the changes that need to be made. And I'm sure it's not big things. It's just little tweaks and adjustments, pushing back a little bit, saying no to a couple of people. And those little changes are going to make a big difference in your life. And until we connect again, with love and blessings from my heart to yours, take care, Gemini.